You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
And good evening, welcome to Outside the Box. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, broadcasting from a location somewhere undisclosed in the universe. Anyway, here we are on criticalmassradio.co.uk. So I was just finishing off doing a little card spread here, and interesting. I'm working on another. Well, it's not an essay. It's I don't know even what to call it. Anyway, it's well, based on the spread, it's very profound. So, ended up with the 13 Death card, which is perfect. I love change, and I do get tired of the same old. So, just one sec. Oops, just finishing this off. Otherwise, I get distracted as I go through the show, and last thing I want is to be distracted. Hell of a day, though. For those that remember the movie 12 Monkeys, watch that one again and tell me what you think. Holy shit, I took three, and I was only on the second half of the movie. I got like 3 pages of notes on it. Like that doesn't happen too often, but I get to tell you, when you understand the Army of the 12 Monkeys, and of course relate that back to Zodiac, and when you watch this thing unfold, the initials, James Cole, JC, and of course we were talking about Frank Chester, and of course the sign is Chester, Philadelphia, where they have to go and hunt this down. It goes on and on and on, and it's all about the time tunnel. Of course, you'll see the cartoon with Woody Woodpecker going through a time tunnel. I mean, this thing really just opens everything up. Of course, they're talking about a boy trapped in a well in Fresno, California. Fresno being one of my dogs. Of course, it was Ricky Newman, so on, and this trapped in a well was a prank, right? So it's a cosmic joke. Of the 4 vials, that's VILES, so that'd be the 4 natures of man to me. And it goes on and on and on. And what I really want to do is codify this even further. It was interesting that Bruce Willis brought a line into this movie. Well, I'm not sure which one was first. The one, Sixth Sense, where it had the kid that says, "I see dead people." And actually, Bruce Willis in this movie, all I see is dead people. And that's funny because that's all I see. Isn't that interesting? And of course, the FAA, which is the symbol for this 12-monkey group, well, Fa, right? That's the heart note, right? And of course, the FAA, which is the air, or Gemini, right? Air sign. Of course, as it relates to me, remember, I call things from my game piece, and you're going to see references of lions and lambs and bears and goats throughout this, right? This Jeffrey Goins, isn't that interesting? The hex of the creation of the self that is mine and divine feminine. Yeah, absolutely. He ends up playing both sides. But as it turns out, for those that have seen it, at the very end, the real culprit is the actual scientist's assistant. You see him. He was the guy that played the father in Contact with Jodie Foster. And you're going to see the Riddler show up in this movie as well from the former Batman series. And you'll see, when you start connecting all these things back, it's quite funny. And again, so what I'm seeing more and more now are the fractals within fractals within a movie and how they reference back things. And of course, for someone to sit and try and plan this out, to get specific actors to play in specific roles, to have specific scenes played in specific parts of the movie, you're not going to do that in a state of awareness, but you will do it in an unknowing state of all-knowing. Right, an unaware state, because that's the thing with truth. Truth simply is, and you are the all-knowing in a state of lessened awareness. And we've talked about this many, many times, and I'm just keeping going with this. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like to get technical with things, because the ego and the left brain, the id, and all the rest just loves technical. And you can spend days and hours showing how this math works in this language, and staying very focused in one area, never bothering to, start to connect any of the dots as far as going across the board to see all of these things interplay. So it's a fragmented, dividing, conquered consciousness if you are specifically looking at one thing or a couple of things only. Yes, find what resonates with you, but find what resonates with you that brings in all of these pieces, right? And, I mean, I've talked about a lot of the great, and I call them masters of our time, that have done phenomenal work in their respective fields, yet have not connected all of their own dots with others. And this is one of the reasons why I look at people like Santa Bonacci, Bill Donahue, Mark Passio, Sivan Bomer, Tobias Lars, Matt Presti, Robert Otte, and that goes back to the Russellian sciences, urine therapy, the Zodiac, math, English, sound, Frank Chester, and all of these things. You start to really connect the dots. And I think one of the things that Steve was talking about in the last couple of nights, what inevitably happens with the literal left brain is where my focus is only on unveiling all of this not literal stuff, and everything wants to go back to the literal all the time. And that's the program, and it's constantly reeling the thoughts back in. So for me, it is about connecting dots. And if there is one thing that I do differently than pretty much anyone I've ever met, is that. That's it. Codifying this stuff. All of it together. It's the book of life, right? And when you understand that life is a fractal of a fractal, if you're only looking at one part of it, you're only getting one piece of the puzzle. It's like having a 20-piece puzzle, and you're focused on, say, one corner piece or one middle piece, and you're not connecting all the other pieces. So how the fuck are you going to get any idea of what the picture is? So what I'm doing is I'm seeing the picture, and I'm trying to show people how to connect these different pieces of the puzzle so they see. And there are many that do. This is the joy of right now. There are many that do have that ability, and they're starting to get their real aha moments going, holy shit, that connects to that, connects to that, connects to that, and it connects to me based on all of my life experience. Because remember, each and every one of us is telling the same story, literally. But anagogically, it's being displayed in a different effect, right? So what you're dealing with here is a multiplicity of infinite versions of the same story. I see the same story in everything. And there's only one thing that blocks people from seeing that, and that is the analytical left, got to figure it out, bought into the system based all on the programming mindsets. And it is pure program. Like the piece I'm working on right now is effectively, it's like this. All of the people in my life that have prejudged me or had their own ideas of exactly what I was doing when I was doing what. And they translate it only in the physical. You see, with physical, all I see is energy. The human body, I only see the zodiac. And the energies how to correlate with each other as it relates to the entirety and fractal of the universe. You are the universe in one. And I don't know how long it's going to take for me to keep railing this point home, but I'm going to keep doing it because I know some are getting it more and more each day. We can't sit at this table with the numbers we have and it not getting into the consciousness. I'm watching things unfold right now where like the meteor shot down. Well, of course, if you take down literally, you're going to miss the fact that it's a law of truth in creation, a creation that's mine. Down becomes tune. The D for a T and the W for an O. So yeah, and it was over Phoenix. O ver, which is creation of truth. Phoenix. To end all fees. Phonix, to end all foes. And of course, take the PH and put the proper S in there, and you have sonics. The sounds, the masonics, other sounds, and all of this gets so neatly exposed when you start just listening to the words and then seeing the cosmic joke within them, how literal they are when you start resounding them. That's when you become a resounding success. You know, and people, You got to stop relating back to the literal all the time. The literal's easy. That's the easy game. I can watch any movie literally and go, oh, that was fun. Entertainment. Enter the mirror of the mind. And that's what we've been doing for so long. So for me, it's about changing that whole paradigm within myself. There's no Jesus coming to save you. But here it is in a nutshell. I mean, all of the people in my life. Would you want me to speak as your character reference? As you have so aptly spoken of mine? From a completely obliterated viewpoint of only seeing things through the program. And this is what I know. This is why there is no emotion attached to this. I know what's going on. It's the program. How? Again, I'm not going to walk around and beat 5-year-old retarded kids to death with a fucking shovel. And that's what humanity has been doing to itself. I'm going to go back to this. Those that support the system in any way, shape, or form think that killing kids and starving them and raping them and keeping humanity dumbed down with religions and educations is an okay, insane thing. You tell me what's fucking sane about that, and I'll have you committed. People walk around, rah-rah this flag and rah-rah that. Mindless automatons, robots, cyborgs, biological machines of the lowest order. They all walk around with their hands held across their chest about this flag or that flag, and it's nothing but a piece of fucking cloth that I wouldn't even wipe my ass with. And you have them all out on Canada Day, July 1st, July 4th, Independence Day. And there you are, bars and stars and a fucking red flag with maple leaf in the middle, and you got your, good little slave. Yeah, pay allegiance. Because it's only costing your soul. So keep buying into the physical meat stick illusions, and little by little your soul is getting drained on the merry-go-round to the point where you will never awaken, and you will become as non-existent as you deserve to be. If that's what you want, then golden rule, baby. That which you wish upon others, you've wished upon yourself. The joy of this is I would never wish non-existence upon someone. However, if that is their choice, I will not trespass. I will look at that unconditionally and say, not something I would do. And I've made my share of mistakes in this life. Fortunately, not too many grave ones, let's just say that. We all have our slip-ups, but I also know what that is. That's the program. That's not a justifier either. That's just a statement of fact. Are you really expected to go through life with a broken calculator and expected to get all the answers right? Well, you won't until you stop and decide to fix the calculator, and the calculator's you. It's corrupted. Your 5, 7s, and a few other buttons are stuck down. And your battery's getting drained. These are spiritual contracts that we're dealing with here, and this is the unseen part that I see. Just like the character Misha, go figure, there's our character back again from the Hannibal series, right? The whole purpose of Hannibal going crazy was his younger sister Misha getting eaten up, and here in this movie it's a no. So again, are you going to keep buying into it? Are you going to keep going literal? Are you going to keep trying to figure things out with a busted calculator? Because if that's what you want to do, don't expect to get all the correct answers until you finally sit down and go, my calculator's broken, I best fix that. And that fixing comes from within you. Everything outside of you, you can say, well, someone's getting pissed at me. That's just a mere reflection of what they need to fix. Fuck you, it is. That's exactly what you need to fucking fix, moron. And I'm saying that to the ego program, the broken calculator, that everyone loves to come around with. And you still got these mental retards, intellectuals, still trying to sell the legal bullshit. And I call them out on it. The longer you stay trapped in that illusion, not in getting the notion that everything you say is creating your reality with the carrier wave underneath it called magnetic, where the sound has been corrupted, not with me anymore, I'm doing my damnedest to pull all of those charges out of it, to neutralize these words, so that it's not just carrying willy-nilly. And these are the things that are changing this consciousness. This is why you're going to see free men going to jail. You're going to see free men staying in jail, and then you're going to have the mouthpieces, the legal fucking idiots, trying to explain why from a legal perspective while they're talking with their heads so securely shoved up their anuses, stuck between Scorpio and Sagittarius and their own assholes. They're blind. And I'll tell you what they're creating. Because with their head shoved up their ass, they've got their head in the womb of Virgo. And that intention is going out being created. This is why priests rape little boys and little girls sometimes too. Aberrated society we live in. And that what you agree with within it aberrates you accordingly and keeps your calculator from functioning properly or at all. I'm tired of the physical debates. I'm tired of the literal nonsense that seems to rear its head here every so often. This is a game on for your soul. Please, waste time. You only have forever to be non-existent. Or immortal, your call. Game by game. Life by lifetime. You are going down until you awaken. And to whatever degree you need to get to, that's entirely up to you. I simply chose to say, I've had enough. That's good. Thanks. Appreciate it. Getting the fuck off this ride. Because you're not the one pulling the levers on this ride until you get, and I'm going to be very literal on this, until you get where yourself and a few others are. And the joy of this is I know who those others are based on how they approach things, how they see things, how they get their aha moments, how unconditional they are. This is not about seeing who's smarter than who. I'll leave that up to the fucking Tammy Peppermints and the Winston Strouts of this world. I'll leave that up to people like Dean Clifford. I love Dean. Don't get me wrong. I love all these people. It's their fucking programs that drive me nuts. And of course, as soon as you say anything, it goes into automatic defense mode, which is ego. Instead of saying, oh, okay, I'll have a look at that. That mouthy tranny might be onto something. Just maybe. Well, geez, that Kate of Gaia bitch, she's doing things completely different than everybody else. And it's working. I wonder what that's about. Well, you know what it is, doing the same things over and over and over again, expecting a different outcome. So I'm going to call out all these legal morons and say, please stop doing what you're doing, or this universe, i.e. me, is going to shut you down. You are just a thought to me, and certainly not a thought I wish to have anymore. I am sick, sore, and tired of the egos and the defense mechanisms. And this little piece that I'm working on, oh, I tell you, I'm clearing out a lot of the belfry. There's no bats in the belfry here. Because I'm going through the final phases of cleaning all this shit out and handing it all back to those that want it. They're the ones that created it. And I'll tell you, all the people that somehow claim to love me in their lives, and this includes my own children. Really? Let's have a look at that. Maybe stop and ask why I bothered to do this at all in the first place. And I'll tell you why, because I could not take being a fucking liar anymore. This whole system is a lie. My mild awake, well, of course, coming here in this being form certainly had its virtues and its vices too. Okay? But I'll tell you, my awakening started happening around 99, 2000. It was before that. I was one of the Out the Deads that was getting really disgruntled and had been for a very long time. So I was walking between fist fight and Carry Out the Dead for a long time. And then what I noticed is as soon as I found truth, shit started to unfold before me. I watched the entire system change, not just for me, but then my intention wasn't just for me. I've asked people, why exactly? And I've had people lie right to my fucking face on this. I've asked them, what was your intention? Was it for you to solve it for you, or was it for humanity? And every one of these fucking liars said it was for humanity. And I know a liar when I feel one. And I know the ones that do it for the right reasons because I can feel them. It's neutral. If one's getting fucked over, they're all getting fucked over in my world. Your children, my children, your families, my family, all of it around this planet matters to me. And granted, yes, at the outset, it was looking after my own hide. That's all part of the program until I woke up and said, wait a minute. And I went through this in collecting silver. I was really excited when I got my first 11 ounces. I was like, woo! Because it's very hard stuff to find. And then I started collecting more and more. And then as soon as I got to a certain level, 300-400 ounces, I'm thinking, wow, if things are going to turn out the way the literal world had it, I could help a lot of people. I could take care of my entire family now and pretty much all of the relatives based on what was projected. And then I got even more motivated, and I started collecting more truth silver. Right? This is the allegory of my life. Up to the point where I had over 5,000 ounces. And that's all gone because in that process of gaining the truth, I transmuted it into what I do on the air. I took that physical trap and turned it into a spiritual freedom. And there are many people out there that I have helped in countless ways. The list goes on. I mean, as I'm writing this thing out, it's not about, oh, look at me. No, this is about the intent of why I did it in the first place. And as soon as I got to another certain level, I'm thinking, oh, cool, I can take care of the whole neighborhood. I can take care of the whole city. And then it hit me. Everyone matters. And it hit me that, you know what, if I do this right, I can save this whole fucking planet. That was very real to me, and it's even more real now, especially from the viewpoint that I have, and from the things that I've went through. How many conversations have I had about the judge bows to sovereign where people miss the fucking obvious? Sesame Street obvious. One of these things is not like the other. Now ask, why? But you'll have all the legal bagels, all these, I know this about common law, and fuck you. You don't know shit because you're still working in a paradigm that was constructed for you. Dipshit. Oh, egos I don't like very much. Have you noticed? And that's what I talk to. Because I know each and every one of you, and anyone that ever shows up at this table, I know you are the most brilliant, perfect creation in the universe. Why? Because you're me. Magnetic electric. I am just another point of you. Y-O-U. And of course, you, the international symbol for electricity or intent. I am just another perspective, another point of your intent. And not only do I realize this, I know this. Go ahead, try and shake me off this foundation. That's the bitch about truth. I built my house on rock, not sand. I don't ebb and flow with the tides. I ebb and flow the tides. Consciousness is. That's what consciousness does. And where you've all, me too, got into thinking that somehow this is Kansas and, I can't have that kind of power. That's impossible. To have that kind of... Duh. That's the trap. You think that. Me and quite a few others know otherwise. This table that you're sitting at right now, this voice that you're hearing right now is part and parcel of the absolute cutting edge of consciousness. It is at this table that we shape consciousness. I know because I watch it. And many of you watch it too, and you know the same. And for a while you were scratching your head thinking, oh, wow, this can't be real. It can't be real. And then after enough times, the ego finally goes, shit, they're on to me. And then the little bastard learns to shut up. And then you learn how to use it like the proper chainsaw it is to slaughter other fluffies and tricky little bastards. But that other little tricky little bastard, oh no, that's all about fucking venom and poison and you hate me. And it says, no, that's your program, dopey. I'm just here to help you bring your calculators in for servicing. This is about waking people. Waking yourself. You're not here to save anybody but you. Unless, of course, you still buy into that whole fucking Vatican nonsense. Oh yeah, if you can plant the seed, and that's all they've done. If you can plant the seed in someone's mind, like I'm going to do right now, saying kangaroo, Go ahead. Don't think of one. Who owns your mind at that second? I just did. That's how easy it is. That's what your TVs do. That's what all of these power lines above the ground. If your mind isn't fortified against this shit, you are picking up waves that you are totally not aware of. And they are geared directly to the reptilian, typically around the 60 hertz. So go ahead, tell me how nice a guy Tesla was. He got most of his information out of the Vatican basements because his dad worked there. Do your homework. Mike Tessarian will tell you the same thing. Do your fucking homework. I'll tell you, there's not another radio host out there that comes at you the way I do. Well, Joe Rogan maybe. I love Joe. That guy says what he means and means what he says. Why? Because I'm impatient. Retardation of humanity. Caught up in the little games and tricks that we all love to get involved with. Listen, you want to play that? Knock yourself out. Knock yourself the fuck out, because that's what you're doing. You are paying for your physical games with your literal soul. You'll have the giggles and the glee of insanity the whole way there until you just can't think anymore because your mind is not yours. It is fully assimilated. This is a war on for your consciousness, a game of games, and it is a cosmic joke. I just so happen to get the joke. So how far do you want to go? What kind of game do you want to play? Do you want to keep playing the same meat stick version over and over? Because I'll tell you, that's what you're getting every time. You're going to keep coming back through the same game until a deja vu moment that you had finally makes you go, wait a minute, Kate might have said something. Here's another fucking wake-up call deja vu moment. And I keep throwing these out there because that's what I want them to be. And if you just had a deja vu moment, well done. Now listen this time. Pay close attention. The only way out of here is in. You got to get deep, you got to get dark, and you got to shut up. And you got to start fixing the things that have had you aberrated, the things that are crushing your ability to think. This system is filled with it. And again, any of these, I got to tell you, fluoride and GM, all of this shit has no effect on me. And I'm going to tell you why, because I'm not in that frequency. I don't make contracts with it. I can't. It's too low level. Smart meters, go ahead, scream about them. If you think they're going to affect you, then guess what? That's a spiritual contract. Knock yourself out. Because you just did. Keep talking about the fear porn stuff, which we don't do here. And if anyone does bring it up, it's brought up from an allegorical to see what we've uncovered. To see the effect that we have caused at this table. I'm done with the dramas of the effects. And I have to say a big thank you to Steve, because even I can't come across a table like that sometimes. As bitchy as I am, I hand the torch to Steve on occasion, and he gets the fucking job done, doesn't he? And you know when someone's telling truth, because you're not quite easy with it. So I'll tell you what I learned from Steve is I got to come at it even harder. Unyielding, unrelenting. This quickening is upon us. Time is short. You know this, I know this. But it's the question. And this is one going out to all of my former family and friends and all these people that did such a fine job, as long as I was supporting the parasitical natures of, coattailing for fame and music and coattailing for this and whatever, which I had no interest in. Well, that's the irony of it. I'll talk to Kate because she can hook me up. So yeah, that's all it ever was. I always felt the energy. You can always feel a fucking vampire sucking on your neck. You can always feel it. And you'll shrug it off and go, nah, I can't be that. But it is. Now imagine, I'm the one to stand there, and I'm the one that gets to pass judgment on it. I get to be your character reference. Would you speak the same of me? Obviously not, because I've effectively been left for dead by many. And I'm okay with that. Because in that process, if I'm left for physically dead, then gosh darn, what's the mirror telling me? I'm spiritually alive. That's where I need to be. That's where I choose to be. Because in the awakening of one, all awaken accordingly. This is why I don't have an issue getting hardcore with me. This is why I don't have a problem when people just don't get the fact that I see energy. I see it played out. The human body to me is a zodiac. It's the stars as above, so below. So I'm looking for the interplay of the energies. This is how we uncovered the riddle of the Sphinx. Or the riddle of the Sphinxter is probably more accurate. How long has that been going on? I got to tell you, 12 Monkeys, man, when you watch this and listen to some of the lines that come out of it, you're watching it with new eyes. Even Bruce Willis's character says, it's the movie that you're watching never changes, but because you change, you start seeing different things contained within it. Sound familiar? Yeah. Seriously, can you sit down with someone that just watches movies to be entertained now? Can you actually do that? I can't. Oh, I can sit down and watch. I'm going to be sitting there. I got my own movie going on. I'm seeing what the fuck's getting played out on screen. I'm getting to see how many aha moments I'm getting. Because that's all I'm doing is collecting and connecting. That's it. And this is not rocket science. This is merely accepting that you do know all. You're just not ready for the responsibility. And the only way you can get ready for the responsibility of these things is to get fucking busy with your calculator. Get deep, get dark, get quiet. In your ongoing chitters and chatters, what are you creating? Is it something of the same old New Age paradigm, or is it something, another literal thing? Or are you looking at it from a deeper, connective, spiritual, to get the fuck out of here viewpoint? That's what I'm looking at. And woe betide the fool that gets in my way. You don't have to be a genius to figure this out. As a matter of fact, being a genius is a detriment. Because genius and intellect is the realm of the ego. It loves to be smart. That game I played my whole life. Always did well. Because I can remember shit. I can figure stuff out. And I do listen. That's the trick of it. Why was I in the top echelons of my classes? Why? Just because of that. Doesn't make me any better. It just shows that I have a memory, that's all. More importantly now, I have access to the high memory because I can shut down. And that was the biggest task for me, being the Gemini, especially Virgo moon. I got twin mercs going off constantly. And when your mind is in a constant go, 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 it's a very difficult thing to learn to shut down. But I'll tell you, from the extreme perspective that I had on it, it's really easy now, because I know what it is. It's merely sitting down and going, be now. Shh. And I let go. And lo and behold, magic shows up. It's pretty cool. And it comes in the twinkling of an eye even. It's really cool. But I'm done with the dribble. I'm done with the drabble of the constant literal bullshit and all the rest of it. Are we here to get a job done, or are we just going to sit around and expect everybody else to do it? Your mission, Jim, should you accept it, and you already have. You're here. Your mission is to wake you up. The clues are there. I've played it out in real time. To my current knowledge and understanding, I'm the only living being on this planet to get a judge to bow to them in their courtroom on fucking video. That should tell you something. A week and a half ago, sitting completely vulnerable, if you want to call vulnerable in the physical. Yeah, I was completely naked physically, with ID, with expired plates, no VINs, high-profile target for the system. Oh yeah, I've been through the mill, guys. My home was SWAT raided. My family was ripped apart. I was kidnapped before this. At gunpoint. And 2 weeks later, I go back to say, you're full of shit, and that was my stand. And they got no less than 15 little snot-nosed punks all dressed in their fucking meat stick uniforms like a bunch of ravenous dogs. There was a great post on Facebook today, showed a cop down on his haunches, and top hat wearing banker has him on a fucking leash. What I noticed about the cartoon as well was that cop was nice and prone for a good ass fucking too. And that's exactly what they are. And I put everyone in that same leash category for anyone that is worshiping this system and not knowing who they are. That's the fine line to walk. This is throwing away the crutches. Yeah, you might be a little wobbly, but get rid of the fucking crutches and you'll learn how to walk for the first time. Man hasn't even got off all fours yet. Man doesn't walk upright. Man walks on hands and knees. And that's exactly the way the system wants to keep it. Money is just the middleman that fleeces you. And everyone worships it. There's a difference to it being a tool to use from the pure perspective versus putting the virus back in, going, yeah, I know what this is. Let's just throw that back in with a little different intent. We'll exercise all of this pureness going back in. That's what's called transmuting. Money's the middleman. You've heard the ancient stories talking about consciousness was trapped in gold, and everyone talked about it literally. You can go to Bibliothèque Pleiades site. There was I read this years ago. Anyway, an article around that, that consciousness was trapped in gold. I said, yeah, it is. If you worship it, that's outside of you. That's a physical effect. What the hell does a god need with physical effect to rule them for? If a blade of grass was money, how rich would you be? Not very, because everybody has a lawn. It's the whole notion of creating a scarcity to make you actually think that something is rare. Have you noticed lately, if you look up in the sky at night? I've already told you, in one photograph that the Hubble took, you could cover it with a point of a pin. Not the head, the point of a pin in the night sky. And inside that photograph were over 1,500 fucking galaxies. Suns, galaxies. Let's talk about scarcity now, shall we? Or are you just peachy with being planet-bound, being a good little slave, having your soul energy ripped from you? This game has been played over and over and over. Remember, the universe is your brain. Look at a picture of the energies in a brain and compare it to galaxy shots, and you'll see that it's just the same thing. Time to expand your universe, yes? Time to get a little outside the box. Well, the box doesn't really exist. It does and it doesn't, but that's okay. I don't care. I am all, I am infinite. So are you. If you choose to know this, or you can keep buying into the illusion that the system loves to keep you in, keep you dumbed down, ignorant, and full of shit. Chasing the carrots. And they'll put the carrots up. They'll put the free energy carrots up. They'll put the Nasara. They'll put the ops. They'll put all manner of shit. Swiss Indo Trust. New Earth Nation, or whatever the fuck they're calling this carrot now. And every time one of these things gets uncovered, guess what happens? It falls apart, and then they have to come up with something new. And we're way ahead of the 8 ball on this one. I just laugh at the shit they're trying to throw out there. And the gimme still get stuck in it. The ones that think they're physical. Oh, yeah, well, we got to do this and got to do that. And you're chasing carrots. You're chasing ghosts. I'm the ghost in the machine, baby. I'm the unstoppable. I'm the one that watches cops walk past your car the next day, and just all they can do is give you a scowl because they're thinking, how the fuck did you get away with that? It's because I know who I am, dipshit. I'm not the one fetching treats for a master who's fetching treats for a master who's fetching treats for a master who's fetching treats for a fucking master on up the line. That's the illusion of this feigned power shit. Nothing more delusional than a fucking chief of police or a president or a prime minister. They're fucking delusional. Clergy are fucking insane. The kings and queens of this planet are fucking loopy. And the masses gather around and start sucking their fucking dicks and tits and all the rest of it. Is that what you are? Is that what you want? Am I making this crystal clear tonight? This one's going down in the record books, boys and girls. Kate's fucking had enough. And thank you for the inspiration, Steve. I woke up in a beautiful moment this morning. I thought, yeah, time to get this job done. Steve's right. I've been a pussy for too long. I'm going to start calling it out. You can talk about a new earth. You can talk about whatever the fuck you want, but you're still in that consciousness of limitation. Shall we speak of a brand new universe? One that we can actually all go and play in? Or are you happy with the grounded meat stick having to drag your sorry ass across a brown and green planet lifetime after lifetime, digging holes and building shit for others, only to watch this planet time and time and time again, it's coming up, by the way, get destroyed. There's only one thing that's going to save you, and that's truth. The truth will set you free. It matters not where I stand on this planet. When one is untouchable, one is untouchable. That's why the elites build their dumbs. Dumb means silent. Doom means judged. So let them go to their deep underground military bases, thinking somehow they're going to be saved. As Gaia stretches and crushes all the fucking caves together into one big lump. So lava from her very long and very pissed off position finally spews forth. Let's just see how immortal they are. They play the I'm mortal game. Well, there you have it. There's your box. You can play in it. 6 foot long, typically 1.5 feet, 2 feet wide. Goes typically 6 feet under. And the good news is, there you go, the toroidal field back to start, back to your original birthday to play it again, just to have Kate saying, this is another deja vu moment. Wake up call. Wakey fucking wakey. And if you just had a deja vu moment, well done. Let's get it done. So enough of the meandering off onto all these mindless Babylonian bullshit. Let's get this job done. There's an entire universe dependent upon it, and I have no issues taking responsibility for it. It's time to get the work done. Play later. It's this whole got to play now. We'll worry about our homework the night before, and then all of a sudden you don't get a passing mark on it, and you go, oh, I wonder why that happened. Because you're too fucking lazy. You're too fucking distracted. You're out busy playing this and playing that and playing the other. And it's only costing you your soul, dipshit. The minute we stand as one is the minute this whole fucking thing comes down. I know this. If you want to hear it live on the air, go back to March 14th, the confrontation. And Giuseppe, thank you so much. Lightworkers Media. Get that fucker viral. Start handing that out to the Tammy Peppermans who like to claim their name, the Winston Strouts, and everybody else is still, why is Dean still in jail? Well, because he doesn't know who he is yet. And these are the people I want out. I love these people. Got a good friend in Scotland. Hosting my board on New Borders radio.co.uk. He's not there, so I'm not doing the shows. Didn't hear anything from anybody on No Borders today, so I said, fuck, well, I guess I'm dead. All right. No harm, no foul. I don't care. I'll be blunt. There's a few people involved in that probably wouldn't like to hear what I have to say. Their egos would go schizoid. They'd be sharpening their knives just in my back. Go ahead, knock yourself out. It'll go right through me anyway. You see what a Vorpal sword does to a backstabbing dagger. It takes the arm off. As it passes through the throat and cuts the head, dropping to the ground. So please, play your games. Let's all be distracted. Do you remember the story of the unicorn dancing around while the rains were coming down? The loveliest of them all was the unicorns. That's you. You're fucking dancing while the f***'s happening. No, this unicorn bitch has got her fucking horn nicely sharpened. And I'm out looking for blue blood. That's the unicorn on the British coat of arms. The one with the crown around its neck with a chain on it. That's you. You fucking slaves. You are roaring to the beat of another's drum. You are existing in the toroidal field of another delusion, if you think otherwise. There's only one way to get home here, boys and girls, and you got to get in to do it. Do you think I come up with this stuff? Just pops into my head. Yes, it does, actually, because I shut my brain down. And this panoramic of beautiful truths comes pouring in. Aha, 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 aha. You should see my fucking bridge. And that's why I don't give a rat's ass about what I say, how I say it, because I'm here to take all the charge off of this language, where people will just speak freely without conditions. Oh no, Kate said fuck. Oh no, Kate said fuck. You know? And I can always tell when someone still has charge on that word because I can still feel it when they say it. So lose the charge on the word first, okay? If you want to throw it out on the table here, knock yourself out. Go for it. But I'll tell you, there's very few that I don't feel the charge from. Have a look at that. Why do I get away with it? Well, because I know what it means. I've neutralized it. And it does make you uncomfortable. That's still a little something you might want to have a look at. You haven't neutralized it with yourself. Because I'll tell you, once you neutralize it, you can tell instantly when someone hasn't. So, we had Mike on the board, but let's get this open. All right, so let's stay the course tonight and henceforth. There are children dying, starving, getting raped. Points of us out there getting harmed on a grand scale. I've got a friend of mine and his mother in Psych Eval down in the States. These painful things that happen that I will not tolerate. I will not waste time. How many S's did you guys write today? How much time did you put into humanity today? Or were you self-serving, taking care of you, making sure that everything was taken care of for you? Have a look at that. To the death here, baby. To the fucking death. Because nothing in this physical realm is worth anything to me. Your most brilliant of consciousness and light is all to me. Perhaps share that with yourself for a little while. 574, you're in. What's up?
Hello, Kate. How you doing?
I don't know. How am I doing?
Sounds like you're doing pretty good.
That's
this is Ruby.
Good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you.
Excellent.
I pressed 1 way back when you were talking about the Friday night incident.
Yeah.
I was listening that night, and what it reminded me of was one of my favorite scenes in a movie. When the guy says, "These are not the droids you're looking for."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. That's the Force. Thank you. Let's use that allegory, because that will actually sink in with fucking egos out there. Yes, that's exactly what happened. I'm not the droid you're looking for. You're the droid. Go look in the mirror. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Other than that, what I had is off topic, so I'll just.
Oh no, nothing's off topic. Let's have a look at it and see where it goes.
Okay. Well, I'm reading this really cool book series of the Ringing Cedars series.
Yep.
And there's
Anatolia?
some words in there. I'm sorry?
Is it Anatolia? What's her name?
No, Vladimir Migre.
Oh, okay. No, I was thinking of the character within the book itself.
Oh, yeah. The first book is called Anastasia.
Anastasia, that's it, yes.
Yeah. Well, what I need your help with being, the...
Can we repronounce that properly, just so people know what it's really about? It's about anesthesia. You are put under right now. That's the ringing cedars waking you. Makes a bit more sense that way, where the phonics comes in.
So that's what I wanted to talk to you about, is the proper way to pronounce it.
Well, there you go.
I didn't think Anastasia was right.
No, anesthesia. What happens when you get anesthesia? Right before an operation, they put you under. You're asleep. My anesthesia wore off. Beautiful. See? It was totally relevant. Never off topic. It's where we take the topic. That's what I'm talking about. Do we stay in the literal and go, ha, this is great, and play, or do we go down to the nitty-gritty and say, this is why you brought that up? I want to know why things are mentioned. I want to know why they matter to you. I want to know why they connect. That's what this table does. We connect here. Thank you. Perfect. See? You're perfect. Did you know it? I did.
I'm learning. Another thing in this series, instead of using the word forest, they use taiga, and there's got to be a reason for that.
Well, the G is the taiga. That's the Russian outback.
Taiga.
The taiga or the tundra. Yeah. It's part of the tundra. Take the hex out of it, take the G out of it, and it's taka, or taika, which is the gratitude in the self of spirit. You see, anytime the letter G shows up for me, I just pull it out because it's a hex. It's the six hex revolving back in, and it's only half the story. It's the physical half. I take the G, put it in the mirror over top of itself, and it creates the Greek letter theta, which is the gratitude. Theta, total spirit, total God, total creation, total consciousness, total knowingness. And it's right there in the phonics. Seriously, if all people want to do is play around with these three letters, let's take the G, reverse that hex and put the spirit back in, the K or the Ka. Let's take the P and reverse it, because the P is the mirror of spirit breath. And say Ro, you might say R. Okay, so replace the P with the R. Give it a leg to stand on, so to speak. And then, of course, the D is the mirror. That's the corruption of that letter. It's half the circle. Capital D is half the circle, mirroring back on itself. So if you complete that and put the G hex over top of it, you have T, which is all-knowing. X marks the spot. It's a phonetic letter, circle with an X in it. And T, of course, is the highest note, which is love. Love, la, ve. Repronounced. I pronounced my own reality, is the law of truth. So take the G, P, and the D, and switch it up with the K, R, and the T. And as fate would have it, it just so happens to be my initials.
Wow.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah.
If my road is blaring in front of me, and I'm trying to show people that their road is blaring in front of you. Know thyself. Those are my initials. That's my family motto. Nosca te ipsum. Know thyself. KT. Katie. Where do you think my name came from? It was part of my original initials of W, Katie. Yeah, the 2 in 1. Go figure, I'm a Gemini dragon tranny. What are the odds? Pretty good, apparently. 100%. I just accept what I know. I accept truth. I accept the responsibility of being a dumbed-down and anesthetized idiot. So yes, anesthesia. Let's call it what it is. Maybe read the book from that perspective, and it might change your whole outlook on it. Just saying. Funny how that works, eh?
Yeah.
If you're going to play people, then play in creation. Stop playing in effect. Do you want to be at effect of everything constantly, or would you rather be a little causal over it to get your crow that's yours back, your crone or your crown back, where your ravens rule your tower, or two spirit breath? Nullify the sounds and the words, the physical carrying wave and the physical called sound. Sound is the effect, remember. It is the magnetic intent, the pure neutral black void. Io on. Look at Ari on, Orion. Trying to claim creation itself. Ari, a high priest, on of the goddess. And it's just getting more and more blatantly clear. And hopefully I'm getting a little bit more passionate. I'm trying to do that, but anyway, about the delivery. You know, it's like standing there. There's a mountain in front of you, and no one's saying, "No, oh, that's just a molehill." No, it's a fucking mountain. Can't you see it? Oh, I know, there's a little molehill. And they stare at the foothills. They stare at the molehills. Never even thinking there's a mountain there. How the hell are you going to climb it if you can't see it? I see the mountain. I've climbed it. I'm on the top. I'm going, yeah, what a view. This is pretty cool. Anybody want to come up here? It's infinite. It makes you immortal. It removes all fear of death, because that's the illusion to begin with. That keeps the meat sticks going round and round. You are an infinite creator of energy. What are bodies? They're fucking energy. And the more lies we buy into with this systemic fucking, what do you call that? It's an epidemic. Systemic destruction. Like the movie Brain Dead, Branded, whatever you want to call it. You know? I see those squirrel things coming out of people. It's an energy. I feel it. I don't need to see it. I see it with my heart. I'm the blind man that sees with one's heart. It's one of the songs I wrote back in 1992. Go figure. One of my favorite lines. It always stuck with me. Because a blind man sees more because he sees with his heart. And keep in mind as well that man is a feminine word. Ma-en, mother mine. His is feminine. Him is feminine. It comes out of Hebrew. Masculine is the illusion. That's the intent. That's why the mother is masculine and the father is feminine. The mother, M-O, is a modus operandi. That's the carrying out of intent. That's the action. That's the effect. The cause is the fa there, the heart that's there. Now going back to Chester Frank's work, or Frank Chester rather, I was watching a bit of that last night, and here's a guy that was unknowingly, based on what he wasn't aware of what he was saying, not from my perspective anyway. It was beyond beautiful. Because here's a guy that took the physical, and he sees the hidden within things. He's seen the hidden shapes that no others could see. He pulls out the chestahedron and the decatria, which is a 7 and a 13-sided objects that he found inside. And what's even more beautiful was he showed the complete creation of how the heart works, and that the left ventricle is overcrowding the vortex field of the right. And when we get ourselves into the balance of left and right, our hearts start working properly. Our minds, our hearts, start functioning properly. And it's because of this dumbing down in the mental, of the mind, of the brain, that gray matter, the gray area that everyone's stuck in. That's what kills bodies. This goes back to the days of gods realizing or figuring out that, well, gods could actually kill gods. Well, yeah, we're all infinite and all-powerful. Why wouldn't we be able to do that? Like in the Q continuum, the one Q that didn't want to be in God anymore wanted to be just non-existent. Big trial, Jean-Luc Picard was defending him and everything else. It was a beautiful show. And in the end, that God got the choice that God wanted. Non-existence. Is what you want. I'm around for, I don't know, infinity. I'm good with playing. Nothing else to do. Why the hell do you think we come up with these games? I'm just not the trauma master game creator that's caught in the game any longer. I see the trap of it. It's a very limited perspective, this physical game here. And that's the end-all, be-all for most people. You know, well, how do I do this? How do I do? You know, I went through all of that. I know. You just fall back into the arms of universe knowing that you are God, and I hate saying that word because, well, we've reversed a hex on it anyway, so you know what the true intent of it is. Might as well start calling it T. Note of law of truth. So I chose to stand there. Not a very comfortable place. Egos hate it. It'd be very easy for me to go out and, well, I'll go get some ID and do this, and I could just stay right back into the game anytime. Any fucking time I want. Oh, yeah, I'd go get a passport, and I could go and travel, and I could get caught up in the game again and get all the spiritual contracts back, and I'd probably get left alone. Because I would be deemed re-snared. Ask me if I've done everything I've done just to turn my back on it now. Are you fucking crazy? Yeah, whether 'tis nobler to suffer the arrows and slings of outrageous fortune, to be or not to be, indeed. I chose to be. The physical, that's choosing to not be. And the other thing about this 12 Monkeys, the voice that keeps talking to Bruce Willis keeps calling Bruce Bob, which is Christ consciousness of creation in Christ consciousness. It's the higher self talking to him. And back and forth, you can relay it to. You can see that the Bruce Willis character, the ego, and the doubt and the wondering. But as the movie progresses, he had to come back a few times. The Atlantean science masters, the delusionals that want to reclaim the Earth. This is why I know this game is over. There's no fucking way they're reclaiming it. They're done. They are so done. They are nothing but a bad thought to me. And they have judged themselves in their own actions. And by their own actions, they get to be non-existent. That's why I put the challenge out to anyone that has judged me. They've judged me wrongly. That's okay. I know that because I know my own heart. Would you want me as your character reference? Would you want me to be the one to speak for you, knowing of all the things that you've done to me? Would you want me speaking for you? And the typical answer would be, no. The irony is I'm the only one that can. Funny that. Oh, tomorrow's going to be more potent. You watch. Mystified, I got you in here, and Janet, you're in here as well.
Hi, Kate. Hi, Shantae. Hi, Mystified. Hi, everyone. I was at the library today, and I was sitting in this truck, and it just doesn't have tags on it, but I don't have a VIN in it or anything, and the police parked right by me, and I thought, well, this might be my test to see if he's going to come over. And I sat there. I was working on writing and going through things on this little tablet, and he just sat there looking at me, and then my granddaughters were here, and we had to go, so I waved at him, and he never came near me. So I know the invisible force field is perfect.
It's there once you step in it, and it was shown on March 14th.
Yeah.
That is the layer that's peeled. Stand in your truth now, because you are now untouchable when you do. You have nothing to fear. I'm telling you, could they have done anything to me at all on Friday night, they would have.
Yeah.
Had they been able to do anything on Saturday morning when I went back and they pulled into the parking lot again and went in to see if they could get an ID or something, And they came back out with that same disgusted fucking look on his face, and I just, whatever, I'm writing. Fuck off. Right? I love you. I wish you no harm, but are you getting it yet? Back to your little meat wagon there and go off and wonder, what does she know? I know truth. And there's nothing in this universe that will penetrate that. Nothing.
Yeah, I feel that so strong.
That's why. Because that layer has been peeled off of consciousness. This is the power of one. This is the power of you. If you but would awaken to this, and you've had that experience, looked right at you and couldn't fucking touch you. Because you are Susan Storm, invisible with a force field around you on a spiritual level. Because you nullify the spiritual first within, you change your heart, and then you manifest it through the physical actions after. You've got to get it right in your heart. And you may go through a lot of fear. Guaranteed you will. I know I did. Push through. That's the very power you need to push through this fear. So there you go. Thank you for standing and sitting in your truth, Janet. See, I told you you were right.
Yeah. Thank you, Kate. Yes, you have. So
ego hates me. How can an ego argue with me when I say, I told you were right? I'll play the tricky little bastard against itself. Evil will, by definition, destroy itself. I just drive a bulldozer, is all. Well done. Thank you.
Thank
See,
you.
Janet, you proved it again. You proved exactly what happened on Friday. That layer is gone. Now, I'm going to call out to all the men out there, all you big, tough men, you're big and brave and all the rest of it. Well, I'll tell you, this little fucking tranny who's half the man you are took on the whole fucking thing. What's your bitch? Time to get your bitch on, right? Anyway, hey, Mystified, how are you? Mystified, Stephen, you there? Did you mute out on your end? Oh, I see Colleen's number sneaking up to the top there. He hasn't hit one yet. Kind of got a feeling Colleen's going to jump in tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going down the list. I can see you all in here. There's another one who knows who the fuck they are. Randy.
Yeah.
Many of you do. I know ones that do. Tell me, Janet, what did it feel like driving away?
It felt good. I knew it was I was totally invisible, and I just felt really good. Because I've been wondering just a little bit once in a while, when's going to be my test, because I've been driving around like this for quite a while now, and I don't just stay in one place. I go, as far as I can.
Let me show you cause and effect here, okay? Do you know why you passed your test today? Or yesterday, whenever it was?
Today.
Today. Do you know why you passed your test today? Because I passed mine on that Friday. And this is what we do for each other all the time. It's not about me, guys, okay? You need to lose this. I'm just, like I said, I'm a walking, talking dichotomy. I'm a walking, talking clue. That's it. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're a voice in my head.
Yeah, I'm just that nagging bitch in the back of your mind. All right? Go ahead, try and put me on a pedestal or think I'm on one, and you're going to see the purple unicorn vibrating chainsaw with Fluffy tattooed on the fucking side of it going at your ego's throat. Promise. We got Randy in here. Randy, are you there?
I'm right here.
Hey, how are you?
You're rocking it. We are doing great tonight.
Yep.
I love it.
I couldn't let the two nights that Steve came in, because he doesn't come in too often, but I couldn't let those nights go by without learning the lesson that he showed me. Enough of being a pussy. Enough of holding people's hands, Kate. Enough of not really laying it on the line, Kate. Enough walking around the issue, Kate. Enough letting the egotistical, intellectual, literal Babylonians have any form of cause, Kate. And I chose to listen.
Yeah, you did.
And he was right. I know it, because I know he's right. Because it felt right.
Yeah, he's a breath of fresh air, too.
Well, he rang a bell in my heart. And you know, these are the things that again, see, wait a minute, did Kate learn a lesson? Yes, duh. This is what I'm here to do. And if I get to show you one live on air, woo, party. Wait a minute, I thought Kate was an ego bitch. What's with this fucking humility or something? Oh man, you know why I love being wrong? Because I found what's right. I found that I'm going to do that again, and then I find that because that's what I'm going to do instead. I get the singularity out of the polarized position of the contrast. Dare to be wrong, you'll see how right you are. Go as far one side as you need to on the other to see that variance or that, quote, mistake. It was just a measure of a degree of contrast. And when you see it, then you can stand right in the middle and go, yeah, there's where the truth is. It's on that very narrow road right between those. And you got to shoot this thing right between the eyes every time.
I too.
Is it a coincidence? Yeah, is it a coincidence that the heart looks like an apple? Nice big red apple? What did William Tell have to take off his kid's head? Right. What did Eve get offered in the Garden of Eden? The apple is the heart, baby. That's why they call New York City the Big Apple. It's the heart. If you want to find the dragon heart, well, just go looking for those. And you stick a sword right through it. Vorpal's sword loves slicing and dicing those apples because they're poisoned. The Dark Queen has been offering this apple to Snow White for too long. And Snow White, the 12-year-old little girl, naive aspect that we truly are, kept biting on the apple. Well, this little 12-year-old little girl grew up a little bit and said, take your apple and shove it where the sun don't fucking shine. Stick that in your heaven, your anus. As above, so below, baby. Ryan, you're in the call.
Hello, Kate.
Hey, how are you?
How's my volume?
Sounds good.
Awesome.
You're not taking up too much space. Well done.
Perfect. Well, you know exactly how I'm doing.
Yes.
I called in many months ago, and I was talking about Terence McKenna and the Archaic Revival.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a lot of homework to do after that initial call, and I have a few things to share with you.
Please, share away. We're here
with
for
us. I stepped into full-on creational bliss awareness 2 days ago. What you have activated, what you have helped to activate within us on a higher dimensional landscape is of such purity that it had me laughing hysterically every 2 minutes for at least for at least 4 consecutive hours.
Welcome home. Isn't it great?
I found all of your isms to have me reach a state of laughter that was merged with yours. And because of the depth of what you have been truly laughing about lately, I was able to receive a highly sustained dialogue that kept one-upping the level of hilarity about every 30 seconds.
You get the cosmic joke. Well done.
It's perfect. So
Welcome
from
home.
starting with the fact that all this information was, as you say, hidden in a tranny, to the feeling of actually tasting the nectar of life, I was and continue to be inflating the constancy of the little hints that allow this frequency to be sustained.
Isn't that great?
It's perfect.
my gratitude for you and all that are doing that knows no bounds. An idea is only a good idea if it gets resonated with. And I think truth is a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a really good idea. And it's so true. It doesn't matter where you are on this planet. It doesn't matter what comes at you. You are immortal.
Yeah, when you're resonating that highest truth, you are it, and that is it.
Bulletproof on all levels. Welcome home, God. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, I kept laughing with you because I was you, and then it just got, just genius. Just
Isn't it great?
Genius.
And it's so simple.
Yeah.
That's the joke. It's so simple.
Yeah. When something is at effect to something else, it is quite literally being fact by it. Defect, perfect. It is said that if God is not the most ubiquitous word among a culture, it must be replaced by something else. It is clear to me that for modern day Westerners, and especially Angel Man, that word is fuck. So by detaching from the whore of Babylon, we are effectively switching from being fact by the Matrix to making love to the Matrix. Oftentimes we find ourselves fucking the shit out of the Matrix. In the case of large scale ragweed transmutation. Sounds like the mother of all tricks.
Oh, you got it. Oh,
it feels fucking good.
See, that's and what you're experiencing is bliss. It's not glee. It's bliss. It's just that pure. Fuck, I get it. This is so awesome. And there's no real emotion in it. It's just pure bliss. There are no words.
And it's so serendipitous. And I find that the word serene is already in there with serendipity.
Yep. Calm.
And when you're living from your heart, you get to hear the note of love, HEART.
Yeah. And hey, look at the word calmness. Calm, meaning to be with, in the state of being with. Calmness. Serene, serenity. Oh, it all gets proven out in the phonics. If people needs the proof, all you got to do is play a little bit. You don't got to play much. You got to go, fuck, this is cool. Oh, look at this, and oh my God, look at how funny that is. And you see, and it's encased in the sounds in such a literal way most times. Yeah. It is so comical. All right, we got Elvita in here. Trying to see who else we got. And 956.
I wanted to say, holy shit, we done delivered another God.
Hey, isn't that great? You feel that? That was a painless birthing, baby. I give birth to any.
Oh, that's great. I love to hear that.
You experienced Ryan has experienced the yin holding into the yang and back out again at the same time.
And it is seamless.
It's seamless. It's pure fucking bliss.
Hey guys. Hey.
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 Hey. Much love. Happy baby.
Oh, and Ryan, I got to tell you, man, take the compliment. You actually sound like Terrence.
Thank you.
You have that perfect delivery in that beautiful. It's a bubbling energy, and I always love listening to Terrence because he just it just flowed out of him. You know what it was with Terrence? Why he did drop? It's because he reached beyond what he could grasp.
Exactly. I actually experienced Terrence's spirit, and it was totally obvious that he had completed his mission, and that the words he had spoke had reached their pinnacle.
Yep. And he got so spiritually ahead of his body couldn't take it. But don't worry, that timeline, he's catching up right fucking quick. Okay. And it really comes down to knowing who you are. And for me, the last piece that had to be unveiled was a spiritual connection to the whole fictional realm, and that has been my quest all along. how that works. But yeah, you've just I can hear it in your voice and feel. More importantly, I feel it.
Because this is your voice, Kate.
Well, you see, that's the joy of it. I told you you're perfect. I love when people actually start believing when I say that. What do you mean I'm perfect? I'm not perfect. Yes, you are. You'll see. Throw away the calculator. It's broken. Get the real one. Get the true heart going on, and you'll see it. And then we'll all go dancing. Let's get this game done. These guys are falling ass over tea kettle. Even one of the guys one of the bankers, apparently 13 top elite bankers, dead. Aha! Anyway, one of them's called James Stewart Jr. And who's in the 12 Monkey movie? There's a scene from North by Northwest, and who's the guy? James Stewart is talking to the character called Madeline, and they're talking about the big tree. It's got the date of 1060. I went through all these. These are all parts of notes. 66, number 13. 1215, that's the Magna Carta. 9, 1492. 7, America discovered. The mirror icon, right? 1776, 21 reverts to 3. 1930, there's 13 again. So I'm watching these trends, and it's about time and space folding in on itself, and we're getting rid of the monkey business that dropped into this timeline and screwed it all up, right? So no more repeats. No more.
When the time folds in on itself, you have your crosshairs right where that's happening. And if you look at the word excellent, we are crosshairs zero in on the intent of the mind. Excellent. And when something feels excellent, it's because you have crosshaired the mind's intent, and you see it for what it is.
Now, there's someone that's been paying attention and has done the work. Thank you, Ryan. Mirror.
Thank you, Kate.
Feel that? I just did a Bob sigh. Pure spirit. Looks like Braid's in the call, too. Who's on 321, by the way?
Blue Green Lori.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
I have a couple of quotes. Here's one from Walter Russell that will fit beautifully. When our knowing exceeds our sensing, we will no longer be deceived by the illusions of our senses. And here's one I just came across today, and it is no coincidence. It's a coincidence, right? It's by a Michael Jeffries. You are the timeless experiencing time. Everything is a temporary appearance, manifestation in awareness, including a body, thoughts, sensations, feelings, emotions, sounds, physical objects, colors, etc. So you don't have a body. Rather, you experience one. You don't have a thought. Rather, you experience one. All experiences are fleeting. You are not. Why? Because you are the only thing that is not an experience. You simply are timeless, regardless of the comings and goings of all experiences which require time. Regardless if the experience is desirable or undesirable, it never touches what you have always been and cannot help being, that which was never born. The trouble comes when we mistake a temporary appearance manifesting, arising for us. It is not possible for you to actually be any appearance, but it can appear so if you identify with the appearance, as your identification with appearance is what gives them life, i.e., makes them real. Splashing water, thoughts, can temporarily obscure self from recognizing self, but not forever. Eventually, the agitation begins to settle. The muddy waters calm down and begin to still, revealing clarity, or glimpses are seen, sensed, intuited, and the self begins to awaken to its true nature, that which was never born and so remains, as always, ever, unaffected. Nothing can harm you. Nothing can touch you. Nothing can know you. Nothing can be you. Nothing nothing, nothing.
Bravo. The game of God playing the game of not being God.
Exactly.
Very eloquently put. That was beautiful.
And I just came across that today.
What are the odds? Only 100%.
100%.
Oh, beautiful, you know. And, you know, looking, like, guys, look at how many experiences we've shared. And there's the Capricorn, the Christ consciousness that says, I experience not. So now we are in that Christ consciousness of saying, nah, I don't want to experience that. I already have. It's an old movie. Move on. And that's really what it is. It's about making that very coherent, very balanced, very neutral choice of what you wish to experience. And for those who still want to, you know, play in the game and be at effect to it, then that's obviously what they wish to experience. And for those that don't want to experience that anymore, well, typically you're sitting at this table and you're sharing your words with others. This is the agitation of the muddy waters. Go figure. There's a video that got posted today, actually, by Muddy Waters. Just a coincidence. And right, musician. So these waters have settled. This is the clearing of the Christ consciousness. This is where you're not caught in the what used to be, you know, chest deep molasses that we've been pushing through, where there's just maybe a little bit of tackiness left on the floor, but it's not hindering your walk forward now. And Janet, just as a prime example of what I'm talking about, and I've already had a few people contact me with regards to their, holy shit, they didn't come anywhere near me moments, because I know what happened. This is why and really, I've just explained to a few people today, I woke up today for the first time in that clarity of going through that incredible contrast the Friday night, standing my ground, to the Saturday absolute wow lucid vision that I got back here and go, what the fuck am I doing here? You know, that, and I finally came out of it today, and I knew this because all the things that I already knew were very, very muddled and very clouded, based on, if you equate it to this, it's like the Poseidon got flipped over one way, went upside down, and then got flipped over completely 360 degrees the other way, and then the boat started to upright itself, but it was swinging back and forth very violently for about the last week and a half, and now it's settled on its key of L, the key of intent. And like I said, 3 pages of notes, and that's only on the last half of the movie for the 12 Monkeys. Guys, you will laugh your head off when you... At this level of awakening that you're at right now, you watch the 12 Monkeys, watch the hits on this thing, it's going to be crazy. You watch that, and you tell me, just, I dare you, that at countless points in this movie, you didn't actually start laughing. Look at the characters that are in it, the roles they've played in the past. There's the guy that played the Riddler. There's Christopher Plummer. He's played Dracula and all sorts of horror things. Brad Pitt does just an awesome job in this movie of playing the insane psycho, and that everyone was looking at, thinking he was the one. It wasn't. It was the very quiet, well-meaning assistant to the good Christopher Plummer doctor who had created the virus that would wipe out humanity. So I saw that as the virus that we are creating here that is wiping out the illusion that humanity has been in. And going back to what Ryan was saying there, getting back to Terence McKenna, see, one of the things that puzzled me, because Terence was so, and this is going back to when he dropped Body, he came across with so many beautiful and profound things, but he had taken so many visits to the other side without the stability of what we're talking about right now. That's the difference. That's the only difference. Because the spiritual contracts that were in place when were still in place when Terence dropped his merry-go-round body. Don't worry, he's a quick one. He'll be back very quickly. Again, we're moving into that. We're in the now timeline, and all of these timelines are merging. This is where you're going to see the crossing, just like in Interstate 60, when Neil, main character, observes himself getting wiped out in another timeline as they were so close and merging, he got to witness the demise of himself by making the wrong choice. So what we're seeing now in real time are the choices, and we're making the right ones based on the right information. We're not buying into the old. We're not buying the illusion. We're not buying the Rockefeller pumped education systems with the Rand, McNally, Rand being a military-industrial complex, creating books for the schools that focus only on war, death, mayhem, and destruction, and sell it as something normal, something sane. We're not dealing with the pedophilic church, the for lack of a better way to put it, the satanic Vatican, the negative aspect of our consciousness that we are nullifying. They're just thoughts to me. That's all they are. They're not meat sticks. They're not. That's the realm of the senses. I speak only in terms of energy. And the pure energies that are getting shit on the children and whatever, I am intolerant of. Completely intolerant. We've been as dark as we need to go. We're climbing out. Pisces is long gone. And for those that are the Aquarians in the state of I know, you know your God. You know it. Get over it. Start acting like it. Once you get... See, the age of Aquarius is not a time. It's a state of being. All of the zodiacs are a state of being. They might be allegorized in the 2160-year cycle and all the rest of it. But as I was talking with Steve the other night, stars are the effect of our cause. As above, so below. I use the mirror to adjust that. I can see the contrast. My path was already marked in the stars, of course, because that was where consciousness was when I popped back into this realm. June 15th, 8:40 a.m., 1964. Coincidence that I'm a Gemini dragon? Not a fucking chance there is. Because I know it was all perfect. I just learned how to read that map. And now that I understand it, I get to write my own roads on that map. That's where you get to change your stars. Watch A Knight's Tale. It's a perfect allegory of how one can change their stars. But remember, watch things from the anagogic. Don't watch it from the literal. You'll miss it. You'll miss the purity of the lesson, the purity of the truth that's contained within all of these things. I watch things in the now. Everything that I look at, movies, I don't give a shit what it is. When I'm out walking through a, say, grocery store or whatever, I'm looking in the now. Everything is talking to you. Light is just sound at a higher frequency. So learn to hear with your eyes. Bring it home. Bring it here to yourself. Our ears have been blinded and our eyes have been deafened with the symbols. It's not easy to think when someone's crashing cymbals around your head all day, now is it? You'd probably tell that drummer to screw off, which I did. It's not a coincidence that cymbals in the light are synonymous with the cymbals on a drum set that create the most annoying fucking sound if you keep banging on them. They will deafen you and they will blind you at the same time. So this is how we've come to this point now where we're seeing with our ears and we're hearing with our eyes. This is the double cross. We only had the one before where we took things literally from the, I can see that so it must be real, but then you blinded by the sound called light. That is the Luciferian blinding that we've become at effect to, that we are now becoming cause, and are cause over. I know, I watched the headlines the next day, and Adamantium is great for bringing this stuff up. A lot of you guys are. But I watch the net effects of our cause at this table every night. I don't know how many of you are watching this, or whether you can see it or not, but the most profound things keep occurring. And you get to a point where you'd feel like an idiot to doubt it. Where you used to doubt it because, well, that can't be right. You know, oh, that's something wrong with that. Till you get to the point, well, yeah, I know. Funny is that? And then if you're lucky, you'll spend 4 hours like Ryan did, giggling your ass off because you get the cosmic joke. And you start to see the magic. And you start to perform the magic that was so well kept from you.
Speaking of performing the magic, would I be able to share a live song for everyone right now?
I don't see why not. You're God. Why don't you just play your heart's content? Hey, tell you what. Before you do that, we got 21 minutes here. Go figure. Until the end. I'm just like I said until we roll over on the 30th, which is I believe Sunday, into the normal 7 to 9. I'm only going to do the 2-hour bits because it just gets too late for me. So by all means, but just a quick thank you to Paul Giovanni and the crew at criticalmassradio.co.uk, Ninja, Raymond, Ben, everybody, Chris, Mike, Mark, everyone that and all you guys that all partake in keeping this table where it is. My most infinite blessings upon you for doing so. This is the cutting edge. And anything that people flow towards this table is only going to come back in infinite abundance. That is how creation works. When one flows to the truth, one receives from it. Ask and ye shall receive, and watch. But you got to stand in truth, and that's what this table, that's what Critical Mass Radio is all about. And I knew this was the last home I was going to have because we are the critical mass. And the best part, you know it. That's the shit. That's the stuff that dreams are made of. So let's create. So by all means, Ryan, let's have her.
All right. Guitar is tuned to 432 hertz. This song's called Conscious Divine, and it was written by a dear brother named Jara Tree. we should meet here in this song. And did you ever wonder how the earth, the moon, and the sun keep turning in your sky? Did you ever wonder why we move with the rhythm, we change with the tide? All is forgiven, there's nothing to hide. Remember, wherever you go, wherever you are in your day, the gods and the angels are cheering you on every step of your way. For you are the one. You carry the sun, hey, the light of the world. A new day has come, hey, hey. We are so conscious divine, hey, hey. Eternal soul, conscious divine, hey, hey. I pray that you hold to your vision. I pray that you follow your dream. I pray that you flow with the river. And I pray that you're praying for me. For you are the one. You carry the sun, hey, hey, the light of the world. A new day has come, hey, hey. And if you don't mind, I'll take my time to give to myself just a moment inside. Is it any wonder we should meet here in this song? And did you ever wonder how the earth, the moon, and the sun
There you go. Well done, right? Well done. Nice. Good energy, and felt every bit of it. What a difference with the 432 tuning. I actually tuned my guitar up to 440 the other day because someone popped by that had it. I got to tell you, it's damn near impossible for me to play in 440. That's probably the best way to put it. Now, I just want to, area code 956, I'm going to open your mic up. It was just a bit noisy last time, that's why I had to mute you back out. So let's bring you in this time. And there we go. There you are. That's a bit,
hey.
It was just a bit noisy on your end. That's all.
Kate,
go ahead.
I want to make a shout out. to Debbie, Joe.
Okay.
If she's on the line, just say that I love her.
I think she might have just dropped there. Let me see.
No, she's on.
Yeah, I think she's area code 301, right? 301? I think, yeah, because her line just dropped. But, yeah, again, I'm going to do a shout-out to each and every one of you crazy, wild motherfuckers that are getting this job done. And you need to know how important
She's 604. Okay.
Oh, 604. Why didn't I... Okay, no, she's not... Oh... Debbie, put your hand up. I got one 604 in here. I just want to see if it's you or not. And Colleen hasn't jumped in. We only got about 10 minutes left here. And I'm inspired to share a 432 song with you guys to close things out. Oh, there she is. Let's see if I got her.
I'm here.
Hey, DJ, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Really?
So,
you too, Manny. Love you all.
You crazy, 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 beautiful beings. Look what you did. You changed the world because only the crazies can. Only the crazies ever do. Because we don't buy the shit. We create it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So here's proof to the truth that only those crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that ever do. So there you go. Feather in your cap. Wear it blissfully. Yeah, so I think based on what I'm working on right now, I have to finish the other essay. I let you guys hear the first part of it, but this one was a moment of pure ripping, shredding, cleansing, getting rid of the last fragments and handing back all of the shit from the perspective of, would you want me as your character reference based on the things that you have done? And the irony here is I am the only one that ever could. And I'm talking from a neutral position because I know, well, it's like the line says, forgive them for they know not what they do. I'm not going to beat up a god because their calculator is screwed up and they think it's them. But I'll tell you, I'll do whatever it takes to wake them out of that stupor. And up to the point of hating me, totally misunderstanding intent based on their corrupted, calculated viewpoint of egotistical insanity. And we have, speaking of beautiful sanity, we have Colleen joining in with us now. And that's the same with all of you, so thank you. Colleen.
That's beautiful, Kay. I just wanted to say I'm here too. And much love to everyone.
Indeed, indeed. And, yeah, Ryan, so what's it feel like to play to over 1 million people? Feels good, huh? I wasn't, yeah.
That was so beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love that.
I thought
Sorry,
I'd wait to...
Kate, I muted out for a second just to preserve the purity of the stream.
Isn't it great? Yeah, so I thought I'd wait till after you played before I told you that.
Hey, I'm one with the universe anyway, so it's not as intimidating as you might think.
Oh, it's again, it took me years to overcome that. I got to tell you, I have been so adamant about shunning the center stage my whole life. Everything I've ever done was like, no, don't want it, thanks. Oh, damn, here I am again. No, don't want. Oh, damn. And I got to tell you, the trick to that is only those that don't want it can stand in it. And that's where you all stand. You're front row and center in the universe. Mm-hmm. And it's only because you didn't need to be the star, because you already knew you are one. Mm-hmm. Someone who knows who they are doesn't need fame in the physical sense, because you already have the fa, the heart of magnetic electric me, fa, me, fame. And that's why we're all the same, because the F is the S, isn't it? Kind of cool how that works. So, any last thoughts from you guys? Because I'm going to roll out with my 432 song for you guys to tell you exactly what you are to me. That's 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Look at that, 3, 4, 5. Perfect Pythagorean triangle. Isn't that interesting?
Beautiful.
Just notice.
Great.
And did anybody have? I was going to ask. Did anybody happen to notice the length of the time of the Judge Bows to Sovereign video, the one that went around the most? It was 2 minutes and 34 seconds, which is the mirror of 432.
432.
Just a coincidence. Uh-huh.
And
so
this
that
is what Terrence McKenna said. This is the shamanic dance in the waterfall. This is how magic is done, by hurling yourself into the abyss and discovering it's a feather bed.
Hi-yo.
as dear Steve would say, she, wa, baby. Or as I just wrote back to him, moi, she, wa, baby. Beautiful thing. Okay, so
discovering it's a feather bed that you put each feather into.
Exactly. You are all the feathers. You are the bird brains, okay? And when you get your bird brain back, you start growing all these feathers for your own feather bed. Imagine that. You bunch of Nibiurus. You Ari-ons. Yeah. Awesome. Anyway, well, we'll close up with that. Just want to keep this beautiful energy intact. And know this, tonight you changed the universe to a level you will see. Karma's coming back instantly. I gotta say, I had to check it out because I check all my nows out. Apparently, there was some guy that had taken videotape or with a phone camera, of a truck that was basically tailgating the shit out of him. Anyway, this guy ends up going around him, starts flipping him the bird, right? This is what I mean about instant karma. This is how fast this quickening is now. He's giving him the bird and everything else, and of course this guy, it's on the bin. Go check it out. It's funny as hell. It's only a minute and 31 seconds. Anyway, as he goes by, he's flipping him the bird, and then he floors and cuts in front, loses control, and ends up crashing his truck in the median as the ones that are driving by go, yeah, that's what you get, asshole. And that's exactly what it's all about. So careful what you wish for. Make your heart intent pure. On that note, here we go. This is what you are. You are the stars of the universe to me. That makes you the sun. Here you go. Much love.
Much love.
Ever woke up when it just can't get much better? Feel the sun on your face even when it's rainy weather. When nothing matters, just as long as we're together. You're the sun to me. You're the sun to me. I can't remember ever feeling like I'm feeling. Head in the clouds all day got me flying, got me reeling. And there ain't no way my heart can't be concealing. You're the sun to me. You're the sun to me. And I find just a little bit more and more each day. Another reason that'll settle in. I know I found my way. All I had to do was look far enough to see. You're the sun to me. And I got my reason to They won't need explaining why I smile all day, even though it's always raining. 'Cause you're the one thing that is constant and sustaining. You're the sun to me. You're the sun to me. And I find just a little bit more and more each day. Another reason that'll settle in. I know I found my way. All I had to do was look far enough to see. You're the sun to me. And I find just a little bit more and more each day. Another reason that'll settle in. I know I found my way. All I had to do was look far enough to see. You're the sun to me. Ever woke up when it just can't get much better?
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Automatons, robots, cyborgs, biological machines of the lowest order. They all walk around with their hands held across their chest about this flag or that flag, and it's nothing but a piece of fucking cloth that I wouldn't even wipe my ass with. And you have them all out on Canada Day, July 1st, July 4th, Independence Day. And there you are, bars and stars and a fucking red flag with maple leaf in the middle, and you got your, good little slave. Yeah, pay allegiance. Because it's only costing your soul. So keep buying into the physical meat stick illusions, and little by little your soul is getting drained on the merry-go-round to the point where you will never awaken, and you will become as non-existent as you deserve to be. If that's what you want, then golden rule, baby. That which you wish upon others, you've wished upon yourself. The joy of this is I would never wish non-existence upon someone. However, if that is their choice, I will not trespass. I will look at that unconditionally and say, not something I would do. And I've made my share of mistakes in this life. Fortunately, not too many grave ones, let's just say that. We all have our slip-ups, but I also know what that is. That's the program. That's not a justifier either. That's just a statement of fact. Are you really expected to go through life with a broken calculator and expected to get all the answers right? Well, you won't until you stop and decide to fix the calculator, and the calculator's you. It's corrupted. Your 5, 7s, and a few other buttons are stuck down. And your battery's getting drained. These are spiritual contracts that we're dealing with here, and this is the unseen part that I see. Just like the character Misha, go figure, there's our character back again from the Hannibal series, right? The whole purpose of Hannibal going crazy was his younger sister Misha getting eaten up, and here in this movie it's a no. So again, are you going to keep buying into it? Are you going to keep going literal? Are you going to keep trying to figure things out with a busted calculator? Because if that's what you want to do, don't expect to get all the correct answers until you finally sit down and go, my calculator's broken, I best fix that. And that fixing comes from within you. Everything outside of you, you can say, well, someone's getting pissed at me. That's just a mere reflection of what they need to fix. Fuck you, it is. That's exactly what you need to fucking fix, moron. And I'm saying that to the ego program, the broken calculator, that everyone loves to come around with. And you still got these mental retards, intellectuals, still trying to sell the legal bullshit. And I call them out on it. The longer you stay trapped in that illusion, not in getting the notion that everything you say is creating your reality with the carrier wave underneath it called magnetic, where the sound has been corrupted, not with me anymore. I'm doing my damnedest to pull all of those charges out of it, to neutralize these words, so that it's not just carrying willy-nilly. And these are the things that are changing this consciousness. This is why you're going to see free men going to jail. You're going to see free men staying in jail, and then you're going to have the mouthpieces, the legal fucking idiots, trying to explain why from a legal perspective, while they're talking with their heads so securely shoved up their anuses.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
And good evening, welcome to Outside the Box. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, broadcasting from a location somewhere undisclosed in the universe. Anyway, here we are on criticalmassradio.co.uk. So I was just finishing off doing a little card spread here, and yeah, interesting. I'm working on another. Well, it's not an essay. It's I don't know even what to call it. Anyway, it's well, based on the spread, it's very profound. So, ended up with the 13 death card, which is perfect. I love change, and I do get tired of the same old. So, just one sec. Oops, just finishing this off. Otherwise, I get distracted as I go through the show, and last thing I want is to be distracted. Hell of a day, though. For those that remember the movie 12 Monkeys, watch that one again and tell me what you think. Holy shit, I took 3, and I was only on the second half of the movie. I got like 3 pages of notes on it. Like that doesn't happen too often, but I got to tell you, when you understand the Army of the 12 Monkeys, and of course relate that back to Zodiac, and when you watch this thing unfold, the initials, James Cole, JC, and of course we were talking about Frank Chester, and of course the sign is Chester, Philadelphia, where they have to go and hunt this down. It goes on and on and on, and it's all about the time tunnel. Of course, you'll see the cartoon with Woody Woodpecker going through a time tunnel. I mean, this thing really just opens everything up. Of course, they're talking about a boy trapped in a well in Fresno, California. Fresno being one of my dogs. Of course, it was Ricky Newman, so on, and this trapped in a well was a prank, right? So it's a cosmic joke. Of the 4 vials, that's VILES, so that'd be the 4 natures of man to me. And it goes on and on and on. And what I really want to do is codify this even further. It was interesting that Bruce Willis brought a line into this movie. Well, I'm not sure which one was first. The one, Sixth Sense, where it had the kid that says, "I see dead people." And actually, Bruce Willis in this movie, all I see is dead people. And that's funny because that's all I see. Isn't that interesting? And of course, the FAA, which is the symbol for this 12-monkey group, well, Fa, right? That's the heart note, right? And of course, the FAA, which is the air, or Gemini, right? Air sign. Of course, as it relates to me, remember, I call things from my game piece, and you're going to see references of lions and lambs and bears and goats throughout this, right? This Jeffrey Goins, isn't that interesting? The hex of the creation of the self that is mine and divine feminine. Yeah, absolutely. He ends up playing both sides. But as it turns out, for those that have seen it, at the very end, the real culprit is the actual scientist's assistant. And you see him. He was the guy that played the father in Contact with Jodie Foster. And you're going to see the Riddler show up in this movie as well from the former Batman series. And you'll see, when you start connecting all these things back, it's quite funny. And again, so what I'm seeing more and more now are the fractals within fractals within a movie and how they reference back things. And of course, for someone to sit and try and plan this out, to get specific actors to play in specific roles, to have specific scenes played in specific parts of the movie, you're not going to do that in a state of awareness, but you will do it in an unknowing state of all-knowing, right? An unaware state. Because this is the thing with truth. Truth simply is, and you are the all-knowing in a state of lessened awareness. And we've talked about this many, many times, and I'm just keeping going with this. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like to get technical with things, because the ego and the left brain, the id, and all the rest just loves technical. And you can spend days and hours showing how this math works in this language, and you know, staying very focused in one area, never bothering to start to connect any of the dots as far as going across the board to see all of these things interplay. So it's a fragmented, dividing, conquered consciousness if you are specifically looking at one thing or a couple of things only. Yes, find what resonates with you, but find what resonates with you that brings in all of these pieces, right? And I mean, I've talked about a lot of the great, and I call them masters of our time, that have done phenomenal work in their respective fields, yet have not connected all of their own dots with others. And this is one of the reasons why I look at people like Santa Bonacci, Bill Donahue, Mark Passio, Sivan Bomer, Tobias Lars, Matt Presti, Robert Otte, and that goes back to the Russellian sciences, urine therapy, the Zodiac, math, English, sound, Frank Chester, and all of these things. You start to really connect the dots. And I think one of the things that Steve was talking about in the last couple of nights, what inevitably happens with the literal left brain is where my focus is only on unveiling all of this not literal stuff, and everything wants to go back to the literal all the time. And that's the program, and it's constantly reeling the thoughts back in. So for me, it is about connecting dots. And if there is one thing that I do differently than pretty much anyone I've ever met, is that. That's it. You know, codifying this stuff, all of it together. It's the book of life, right? And when you understand that life is a fractal of a fractal, if you're only looking at one part of it, you're only getting one piece of the puzzle. It's like having a 20-piece puzzle, and you're focused on, say, one corner piece or one middle piece, and you're not connecting all the other pieces. So how the fuck are you going to get any idea of what the picture is? So what I'm doing is I'm seeing the picture, and I'm trying to show people how to connect these different pieces of the puzzle so they see. And there are many that do. This is the joy of right now. There are many that do have that ability, and they're starting to get their real aha moments going, holy shit, that connects to that, connects to that, connects to that, and it connects to me based on all of my life experience. Because remember, each and every one of us is telling the same story, literally. But anagogically, it's being displayed in a different effect, right? So what you're dealing with here is a multiplicity of infinite versions of the same story. I see the same story in everything. And there's only one thing that blocks people from seeing that, and that is the analytical left, got to figure it out, bought into the system based all on the programming mindsets. And it is pure program. Like the piece I'm working on right now is effectively, it's like this. All of the people in my life that have prejudged me or had their own ideas of exactly what I was doing when I was doing what. And they translate it only in the physical. You see, with physical, all I see is energy. The human body, I only see the zodiac. And the energies have to correlate with each other as it relates to the entirety and fractal of the universe. You are the universe in one. And I don't know how long it's going to take for me to keep railing this point home, but I'm going to keep doing it because I know some are getting it more and more each day. We can't sit at this table with the numbers we have and it not getting into the consciousness. I'm watching things unfold right now where like the meteor shot down. Well, of course, if you take down literally, you're going to miss the fact that it's the law of truth in creation, a creation that's mine. Down becomes tune. The D for a T and the W for an O. So yeah, and it was over Phoenix. O ver, which is the creation of truth. Phoenix. To end all fees. Phonix, to end all foes. And of course, take the PH and put the proper S in there, and you have sonics. The sounds, the masonics, other sounds, and all of this gets so neatly exposed when you start just listening to the words and then seeing the cosmic joke within them, how literal they are when you start resounding them. That's when you become a resounding success. You know, and people, you got to stop relating back to the literal all the time. The literal's easy. That's the easy game. I can watch any movie literally and go, oh, that was fun. Entertainment. Enter the mirror of the mind. And that's what we've been doing for so long. So for me, it's about changing that whole paradigm within myself. There's no Jesus coming to save you. But here it is in a nutshell. I mean, all of the people in my life. Would you want me to speak as your character reference? As you have so aptly spoken of mine? From a completely obliterated viewpoint of only seeing things through the program. And this is what I know. This is why there is no emotion attached to this. I know what's going on. It's the program. Again, I'm not going to walk around and beat 5-year-old retarded kids to death with a fucking shovel. And that's what humanity has been doing to itself. I'm going to go back to this. Those that support the system in any way, shape, or form think that killing kids and starving them and raping them and keeping humanity dumbed down with religions and educations is an okay, insane thing. You tell me what's fucking sane about that, and I'll have you committed. People walk around, rah-rah this flag and rah-rah that. Mindless, stuck between Scorpio and Sagittarius and their own assholes. They're blind. And I'll tell you what they're creating. Because with their head shoved up their ass, they've got their head in the womb of Virgo. And that intention is going out being created. This is why priests rape little boys and little girls sometimes too. Aberrated society we live in. And that what you agree with within it aberrates you accordingly and keeps your calculator from functioning properly or at all. I'm tired of the physical debates. I'm tired of the literal nonsense that seems to rear its head here every so often. This is a game on for your soul. Please, waste time. You only have forever to be non-existent. Or immortal, your call. Game by game. Life by lifetime. You are going down until you awaken. And to whatever degree you need to get to, that's entirely up to you. I simply chose to say, I've had enough. That's good. Thanks. Appreciate it. Getting the fuck off this ride. Because you're not the one pulling the levers on this ride until you get, and I'm going to be very literal on this, until you get where yourself and a few others are. And the joy of this is I know who those others are based on how they approach things, how they see things, how they get their aha moments, how unconditional they are. This is not about seeing who's smarter than who. I'll leave that up to the fucking Tammy Peppermans and the Winston Strouts of this world. I'll leave that up to people like Dean Clifford. I love Dean. Don't get me wrong. I love all these people. It's their fucking programs that drive me nuts. And of course, as soon as you say anything, it goes into automatic defense mode, which is ego. Instead of saying, oh, okay, I'll have a look at that. That mouthy tranny might be onto something. Just maybe. Well, geez, that Kate of Gaia bitch, she's doing things completely different than everybody else. And it's working. I wonder what that's about. Well, you know what insanity is, doing the same things over and over and over again, expecting a different outcome. So I'm going to call out all these legal morons and say, please stop doing what you're doing, or this universe, i.e. me, is going to shut you down. You are just a thought to me, and certainly not a thought I wish to have anymore. I am sick, sore, and tired of the egos and the defense mechanisms. And this little piece that I'm working on, I tell you, I'm clearing out a lot of the belfry. There's no bats in the belfry here. Because I'm going through the final phases of cleaning all this shit out and handing it all back to those that want it. They're the ones that created it. And I'll tell you, all the people that somehow claim to love me in their lives, and this includes my own children. Really? Let's have a look at that. Maybe stop and ask why I bothered to do this at all in the first place. And I'll tell you why, because I could not take being a fucking liar anymore. This whole system is a lie. My mild awake, well, of course, coming here in this being form certainly had its virtues and its vices too, okay? But I'll tell you, my awakening started happening around 9